The Bankfield Museum lies roughly 10 minutes out of the centre of Halifax. I've known about this museum for quite a few years, but never had the chance to pay a visit. So on this particular day when we were in Halifax, I thought we'd have a look at the museum. Now, we couldn't get in at the front door there. Apparently access for disabled is at the rear. So off we went up the slope and hopefully gain access. The museum's of particular interest to me because apparently the museum represents in one of its displays the history of the Duke of Wellington Regiment, stretching from its formation in 1702 as a 33rd Foot to become part of the Yorkshire Regiment in 2006. Now, the museum tells the stories of the soldiers who served using their own words. Now, the first Duke of Wellington was the colonel of the 33rd from 1806 to 1812. And after his death, the regiment was renamed in his honour. It's the only regiment to be named after a person not of the royal blood. The museum includes displays relating both to the Duke and the long and distinguished history of the regiment. And there's also, in the centre of Halifax, a fabulous bronze statue for the regiment.
Yeah, there is access.
Now we're at the rear entrance here, and after a couple of presses on this button, we managed to gain access. Now this was through the week, so it was fairly quiet. A uniform or a top he must have worn for some occasion. Little brief history of this place, and I'm quoting from Calderdale Museums. For 50 years, the mansion was the principal home of one of Halifax's foremost woolen and worsted manufacturers, Edward Ackroyd, born 1810 and died in 1887. Between 1838 and 1868, the mansion grew from a single four-up, four-down townhouse to the magnificent Italianate-style mansion you can see today. Now, when Edward purchased the house in 1838, he was only 28 years old and was engaged to Elizabeth Fairby of York. Now, he and his younger brother Henry were working alongside their father Jonathan, founder of a prosperous and expanding worsted manufactory. The first phase of Bankfield's development happened sometime between 1838 and 1858, most likely following Edward's inheritance of a substantial fortune after his father's death in 1848. A single story was added, and the original house was encased in fair-faced stone, and the chapel was also added at this time, reflecting Edward's strong Christian beliefs. Now, the most important phase of Bankfield's development occurred in 1867. He was a member now of Parliament for Halifax and a prominent townsman. Edward no doubt felt obliged to entertain on a grand scale. The new wing included a porte-cochere, now the entrance lobby, where visitors would have disembarked from their horses and carriages, and a magnificent marble staircase and Pompeian and Herculean-inspired frescoes, and the saloon which served as a grand hall, reception room, ballroom, and picture gallery. It would have been sparsely furnished with side tables and couches set against the walls. The walls themselves would have been liberally hung with oil paintings and lit with gaslight chandeliers. After dinner in the dining room, now the North Gallery, female guests would have withdrawn to the drawing rooms, now the Duke of Wellington's Regimental Museum, while the men would have retreated to the library, now the Oak Gallery and the billiard room. By 1887, Edward's business was in decline, and his own health was failing. so he was forced to place Bankfield on the market.
Oh, is that the cafe in
It
there?
was sold for £6,000 without furnishings to Halifax Corporation, and was swiftly converted into a museum and public library, which is what you see today. Well, we've now come out of the Ackroyd Gallery, and we're going to have a look at the fashion gallery on the ground floor. There is a fashion gallery on the
like
upper floor, but unfortunately Elizabeth can't get up to this because I think the lift was out of order, according to the staff. The display that was on when we visited was a fashion display, women's fashions through the different periods of time, and some of them are really fascinating. And you never realise how fashions change over the years. And I've no interest in fashions really. The only fashion I was interested in was when I walked down Carnaby Street in the 1960s. But this was really an interesting collection of fashion items.
So making hat brims and things.
Even a simple thing like a hat, you don't realise what goes into making them.
Hat for all
Now, one
seasons.
thing you could do in this museum on some items, like the hats and some dresses and men's clothing upstairs, you could actually try them on. You could also feel the different textures of the textiles of different periods. I found that really fascinating. It's a little bit tricky videoing items in glass display cases. So much masked by these reflections. Really could do with a polarizing filter. Some more hat blocks for forming various hats.
That little sewing box. Haven't changed now, has it? You still get them.
Yeah.
Well, these are certainly amazing styles. I would imagine these would be perfect for Ascot. Well, these hats so simple but yet so elegant. This display of hats are interesting from various time periods. Just shows how fashion in hats does change over the years. Well, you very rarely see men wearing fedoras or Homburgs these days, whereas at one time just about every man wore this kind of hat. Nowadays it's baseball caps or flat caps. The ladies that produce this kind of work must have been very, very skillful and patient. Another selection of ladies' hats from different periods. And this one looks like it's made from feathers. On this hat stand you can actually try these different kinds of headdress, and we had lots of fun trying these on. Well, Shibden Hall's about 10 minutes away by car from here. Now this next room we're about to enter was a huge surprise to me, and it was also mouth-watering because I love my
Heaven
books.
for me is this. Blimey. Wow.
An absolutely fantastic library, and what you can do is just browse these books and sit down and have a read. And I believe some of them, if you remember, you can actually take them away. You can donate books to the library, but they've got to be a certain age and in good condition. Military books, it doesn't matter too much from what I can read from any time period, as long as they're in good condition. I'm now making my way up the stairs to the upper floor, to the other fashion gallery. Unfortunately, Elizabeth could not get up here. I believe the lift was out of order. It was a shame, really. Now, if you are into fashion and you make your own dresses and things like that, I think this place is a must visit. As I mentioned before, I've no interest in fashion as such, but this was a real eye-opener. Even for somebody like me, it's not fashion conscious. It's definitely well worth a visit.
Up to the fashion gallery.
There we see various textiles. Now in this gallery here, you can actually try on some of the clothes. Not those on the rack there, but these, you can actually wear them.
Wow, you can actually try some of these clothes on. Now that is amazing. That is amazing.
Now this is what I like about this place. You can actually handle the fabrics and get a feel of what different fabrics feel like from
1970s
different time
lyrics.
periods.
Wow.
This dress from the 1970s.
1960s crimpling
Now
dress.
we've got various other
Actually touching history.
A 1960s crimpling dress. They were popular at one time.
1940s.
And then we've got one here from the 1940s.
1940s.
It's amazing how they've
dress.
survived all these years. Well, there's some amazing designs in this area. Now, this golden dress is based on the portrait of Adele Bloch-Bauer, a painting by Gustav Klimt, completed between 1903 and 1907. And here's a picture of the portrait of Adele Bloch-Bauer, as I mentioned, painting by Gustav Klimt. Boy, I remember wearing platform boots in the 70s. And that's the Women's Land Army uniform. And this one looked like a bedroom scene from some period or another. Looks like a mixture of periods. And there's the old flat iron on the left. I remember my mother using one of those when I was a nipper. And a pinny very similar to this she wore. Two dresses here, one 1810 and one 1860. It's just amazing how they've survived all these years in this condition. Another lovely selection of dresses from the 40s and 50s. Well, the reading says dress to impress, and they certainly did impress. Absolutely gorgeous outfits. It's strange how fashion changes through the years. I mean, today lots of women just seem to dress same, jeans or black tights, and walk about with jeans with half of the knees showing through. I suppose that's how fashion is. I'm probably a bit old-fashioned, really. I like to see a nice summery dress on a lady. I'll probably get some severe criticism for saying that, really, but that's just my own personal opinion, and it's just what I like. Well, the school uniforms have certainly altered today compared with these austere-looking things. Well, we do like to be beside the seaside. And birthing costumes are certainly altered over the years as well. I spy Skegness posted over there. A great collection of beachwear. Well, I found that fascinating, and I was really interested in going through that gallery and seeing all them fashions. We're now going for a quick cuppa, and then we'll continue through the rest of the museum. We shall be going into the Duke of Wellington Regiment display, so if you want to watch that, make sure you watch part 2. I hope you found this part interesting, and thanks for watching.